Hey, welcome back to your favorite movie review channel. Peter Mann of Mann Cinema Reviews, you know, the lovely host of your favorite movie channel, Mann Cinema Reviews, back at you. Today we're going to be tackling the comedic horror film Abigail. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and take care of some business, and that is to press like. What are you doing if you're not already subscribing to the channel? Subscribe. Please hit subscribe. But please hit the notification bell as well to notify you of any and all reviews to this channel. As always, for my day ones, new subscribers, what are you doing? Please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much for choosing Mann Cinema Reviews. I appreciate it, y'all. Alright, a group of would-be criminals kidnap the 12-year-old daughter of a powerful underworld figure, holding her for ransom in an isolated mansion. Their plan starts to unravel when they discover that their young captive is actually a bloodthirsty vampire. This is from the minds of Radio Silence directors Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett. You know, the guys who also made Ready or Not. They got a big splash with their latest Scream franchise, with Scream 5 and Scream 6. They took a break from doing so and made Abigail, getting back to their horror roots and the comedic side of horror as well. This is just a great ensemble. We have Melissa Barrera, we have Angus Cloud, R.I.P. We have Dan Stevens, Kathryn Newton, Kevin Durand, and Giancarlo Esposito makes a appearance as well. But what I liked about this film is taking it back to the days of From Dusk Till Dawn, obviously with a vampire element. Things like Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight. I like the fact that this is about it's like a heist film with these would-be criminals, these masterminds, these underbelly of society characters with, you know, a sense of humor and camaraderie as well. I like the fact that it takes a while to build to the suspense and the horror elements, where you're getting to know these characters trying to pull off this heist, kidnapping this girl in a way where they are approaching a mansion, this big estate, and the ins and outs of going in and capturing the girl, bringing them to the secret hideout. And there's also this elaborate set, this mansion out of nowhere where they're staying with the girl, and the fact that they bit off more than they can chew, literally. So they don't know who this girl is, but the person that's in control is Melissa Barrera's Joey. They're using fake aliases, which also brings me back to Reservoir Dogs with Mr. Pink, Mr. Blonde. You know, the fact that they don't know each other's identities because they don't want to implicate themselves in a crime if things go sideways. But they are aware of the criminal elements because Joey, Melissa Barrera's character, is kind of masterminding things. She's the only one that gets time with the young girl. This girl is very manipulative, getting to the emotionality of, I'm just a girl, little me, you don't know who my dad is. Basically trying to figure out who the father is. Of course, he comes from means. They just captured her in a big mansion, but they don't know who her father is. And they come to find out that this could be a criminal crime boss. They're in over their heads. But they come to find out that this little girl is actually a vampire, and she is picking them off one by one. So what I liked about this film is it takes it back to the heist films. It takes it back to the element where, again, From Dusk Till Dawn, you know, Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez, you know, they offer you a movie where you think it's one thing and then it's totally different in the second half of the film, which is very similar to this film as well. I like the fact that these guys from Radio Silence, they know how to make horror and comedy pop simultaneously, and I really think that they do wonders. They're bringing it back to the basics of why I fell in love with Ready or Not, and I was just ecstatic, over the moon to find out that they were gonna taking the helm of the reboot of Scream. It's sad to see that they've actually left Scream. Kevin Williamson, Nev Campbell are gonna pick that that franchise up at the helm. But I'm glad that they're coming back to what they love doing, quirky horror films. I really just had a great time watching this in the theaters, and that's what my biggest takeaway of the film, when I have, you know, popcorn and a drink and I'm sitting back relaxing in sweet Dolby digital surround sound. However, I do think that the film gets a little disjointed and it gets a little off the rails, a little too off the rails in its third act, that I think it just gets blatantly and psychotically silly, and it goes a little bit over the top for my taste. However, it does redeem itself. It gives you an ending very satisfying, with a little bit of cherry on top, which I also found a little corny because I kind of saw it coming when someone makes a surprise appearance. However, I really did have a lot of fun with this film. Going into it, I really immediately thought this was one of my favorite horror films, and it's funny to boot. It does get a little bit of a mixed bag towards the end of the film, but again, I think it redeems itself. I was going into thinking maybe because it kind of fumbles a little bit to me in the third act, giving this film 3.5, but I had such a good time with this film that I forgave its shortcomings, and I really think that this actually goes above and beyond something like a Megan or The First Omen. These are just recent horror films that I had a lot of fun with, but also I think critically really made a splash. To me, this film, in my heart, I mean, just stylistically and narratively, feels like a 3.5. However, I had such a fun time. My gut tells me to give this film a full-fledged 4 stars. I really did have a lot of fun with Abigail. It's one of my favorite films of the year. Again, you know, it's not doing anything to break the mold. It's not reinventing the wheel. It's doing what it does best with horror and comedy. Just a great time at the theaters. Thank you very much. Let me know what you thought about Abigail and what films do you want me to cover. I'm thinking about doing some retro reviews, changing up the channel just slightly. Let me know what you think I could do to better the channel, get my subscribers, get my views up. Let me know what you want me to do with these retro review ideas that I'm thinking of. What films do you want me to see that are currently out there? Let me know down in the comments down below, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.